Okay, guys. Today let's see about Git and Jenkins scenario-based questions. Okay. So scenario one. Okay, you're undoing a pushed commit without affecting other users' history. Okay. So you pushed a faulty commit. For example, you are committing something and you have given some faulty commit. Okay, to a shared branch. How can you fix the mistake without rewriting the history? So we shouldn't rewrite the history. How can we fix? Okay. So the option is like we have to use git revert. Okay. When we do git revert, actually it will revert to the previous commit, and then again you can push it to the origin main. Okay. So git revert it can create a new commit that undergoes the change of the specific commit. Okay. So we have two things. Okay. One is git reset and another is git revert. So in case if you want to undo the commit without affecting user's history, then you have to use git revert. Okay. And second scenario, like accidental deletion of branch. Okay, you accidentally deleted a local branch. Okay, you in your local machine you have cloned a certain repo and you have deleted a certain branch. Okay, for example, we have main branch and then many subordinate branches. You deleted one of the branches. Okay, so how you can recover it? Okay, so if a branch has been pushed to remote, okay, in case if this branch is already in the remote machine, then you can do fetch. Okay, because you deleted it in your local branch means in your machine. Okay, when you do git branches you will get the list of branches, right? You delete it from there. So in case if you have to recover, in case if it is already there in the remote, you can do git fetch so that it will be again creating it in our local machine. Otherwise, in case if it is not there in your remote machine as well, then we have an option called reflog. Okay, so this reflog, it is like an isolated environment. Okay, in this environment, actually, it will not be affected by any of the commands like git revert, git reset. Nothing will affect this one. Okay, so we can do git reflog, and then we can check out. Means the new branch like which has been deleted. Okay, hyphen b, you can give the record branch, and then we will have the commit id, right? So we can just give the commit id so that it will be getting back that deleted branch. Okay, whenever you delete a branch unknowingly, you can do git reflog, and you can just check out the branch name and commit id. And third scenario, so resolving a conflict while rebasing. So you're trying to rebase something, and then you are seeing some conflict because when you do rebase, in case if some changes are there in remote machine already, then actually you will encounter few conflicts. Okay, so in case if you have to fix this thing, you have to check the status. Okay, when you do git status, it that will show the conflicting files. Okay, it will show the conflict files, and git add resolved file dot text. So you can discuss like what is the fix that is required in, and you can add it in the uh, file. Okay, and then again you can git rebase and continue. So you can just check the status, fix the uh, f- file which is having issue, and then you can do git rebase so that it will be fixed. And fourth scenario, squashing commits in the future branch. Okay, how would you squash multiple commits in a future branch into single commit? Okay, so for example, you're working on certain branch. Okay, but you've done multiple commits just for single change. You have done multiple commits. Okay, you have multiple commit IDs. Okay, but you have to make it as a single commit. Okay, for example, you have a commit in a feature branch, and like you are seeing 10 commits for single change, but you don't want all those changes to be in history. Okay, so what you can do, you can do something called quash. Okay, so quashing is important in your real time as well. So what you have to do, you have to git checkout the feature branch, whichever branch you have to make changes, you have to check out that one. In you are in that branch, you can do git rebase hyphen I main. Okay, or else you can give git rebase hyphen I, and then you can give the number like how many commit histories you have to see. Okay, and then in case if you have to quash, you have 10 lines, right? And you want only one commit to be visible. So in case if you have to quash all the changes, then what you can do, you can type yes. This will open in a editor. Okay, when you do this one, when you do git rebase hyphen I main, it will open an editor. Okay, there you can just type squash or s. When you type s, it will be squashed. Okay, squashed means it will be deleted from that editor, and only the id which is required you can keep it. Okay, and then when you do save it, it will be automatically squashed, so that you will have only the commits which are required. Okay, and fixing a commit message. For example, you are doing git commit -m and then you are giving some message. Okay, and how can you correct a commit message that was already pushed to the remote branch? It is not in your local, you already pushed it to the remote branch. Okay, so it will be visible to everyone. So how you can change that commit message? In case if you want to change the commit message which is required in which has to be changed in remote branch, you have to use git commit -amend. Okay, when you give -amend and then -m, and you can give the correct message. Okay, and then git push -force. When you do git push -force, it will forcefully push that changes into the git repo. Okay, so remember this. In case if you want to change the commit message, you have to give -amend. Okay, by that time, by using that, you will be able to give the correct message. Okay, okay, let's see a few scenario based questions from Jenkins. Okay, so restarting a failed build at a specific stage. Okay, so the question is, how can you configure a pipeline to restart from the failed stage instead of starting from beginning? Okay, for example, let's consider your Jenkins pipeline is having 10 jobs. Okay, like git checkout, sonar kubernetes, maven, compile, everything is there. Okay, like let's consider 10 steps. And as we have seen before, OSWAP steps initially takes like lots of time and all, right? Similarly, we may have different steps, it may take different amount of time, but once the build is failed, it will again start from beginning. Okay, but we don't want that to happen. For example, if 5 stages have been completed successfully, we just want the sixth stage to be continued next time when we build. So how we can configure those things? To configure those things, use checkpoint with options. Okay, so skip stages after unstable. Okay, so we can configure it in such a way it should skip the stages after unstable. So if we give under pipeline, we can give the options. Okay, so we can get all these things, like in case if you want to set all these options, you can just refer Jenkins official documentation. Okay, so we can give options. Okay, under options, skip stages after unstable. In case if this stage is unstable, you can skip next stages. Okay, by defining like this, you will be able to run from the stage. Like it is, if this stage is successful, then next time it will directly run this stage. Okay, so you can run this using skip stages after unstable. You can have to define this option. Okay, and then second scenario is automating agent selection for specific job. Okay, so what is agent? Agent is, in case if we take Jenkins, we can configure multiple agents, because if we have only one agent, we can run only one job or two jobs at a time. Okay, so in case if we have multiple agents, for example, if we have 10 agents, we can run 10 jobs at a time, because in organizations we will have like thousands of members. Okay, for example, if 100 members are giving build at the same time, it will be running in an order, right? First job will be running first, then second, third, fourth, five. So in case if someone we have given the job to run at 100th time, 100th place, then he has to wait all the 99 jobs to complete, and we are not sure like each job may take like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. Till then those guys have to wait. So what we can do, we can just configure multiple agents. Okay, when we configure multiple agents, then actually what will happen, like multiple jobs will be running at the same time. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to configure the agents. And then how we can configure? If you come here under pipeline, we have defined agent label Linux agent. Okay, and when we run the stages, this stage will run under this agent only. Okay, under the agent Linux agent, it will run these things. Okay, similarly you can define multiple agents and you can tell them to run. For example, you have an application. Okay, and it has to be let's assume it's a Python application. Python application should be running on a machine where Python is installed. Okay, in case if Python is not installed, then it will fail. For example, if you have Node.js application, npm must be installed. So one machine is having npm, another machine is having Python. We want to run all the Python based applications on Python machine and Node.js based application on npm machine. So we can define two agents, one with Node.js and one with Python, so that that particular jobs will run on those environments. So we can define things like that as well. Okay, and that is the one of automating agent selection. And then handling long running builds with timeouts. Okay, for example, let's assume we have a job, okay, it is taking lots of time, okay, so that other jobs are in pending state, waiting for the node to be available. So what we can do, we can give a timeout, okay, time equal to 30 units minutes, okay. So in case if a job is running for long time, we can terminate that, or else we can make that run, we can increase the timing whatever it is, so that next available jobs it will run quickly. So how we can use that one, we have to use timeout option, okay. When you use timeout option, it will be timing out automatically after 30 minutes, okay, so that we can handle multiple jobs running. And securely managing credentials in a pipeline, okay. So how we can manage credentials, actually in case if you have to manage credentials, then we have to use with credentials option, okay. We have to create credentials in the manage Jenkins, and then we have to use with credentials option, so that we can pass in the credentials without uh, like displaying errors, and like without displaying the credentials publicly, okay. And triggering a downstream job with parameters. So uh, in case if you want to, if you have multiple jobs, in case if you want to we have to run one job at a time, and based on that output we have to run the second job, okay. So these things are called a downstream job. So one job is dependent on the another job. So in case if a particular job is dependent on another one, then we can use the option called downstream, okay. Downstream means going down, right? So build job, downstream job, parameters, string name, branch, and main, okay. So you can pass in the variables of branch and this value, like which branch, like main branch or particular branch, feature branch, and then you can give it as downstream. In if you give it as downstream, first it will run one job, and then next it will run this downstream job, okay. So based on this, you will be able to run multiple jobs which are dependent on another jobs. Okay. So these are few scenario questions. Now let's come to like a normal Git questions. Okay. So how do you resolve merge conflict in Git? So we have already seen, just you can merge, and then we can modify the file, and then we can commit. Okay. So that we will be able to resolve the conflict. And what is the difference between git rebase and git merge? We know, okay. Git rebase, um, git merge, it will combines all the branches and retains all commits, where git rebase it will have plain history, okay. Like it will not be keeping the commit histories of old, okay. And then what is git cherry pick? Okay, cherry pick is nothing but cherry picking, like picking particular commit, okay. That is called cherry picking. So cherry pick applies a specific commit from the branch. In case when we do um, git status, we will get multiple commits, right? Just we have to pick the particular commit, okay. So how we can do, we can use git cherry pick, and if we give the commit id, it will pick that particular commit id. And git stash, okay. Git stash apply and git stash pop, okay. So in case if you are working on certain branch and you have to modify on the another branch, then you can do git stash apply, so that you can go to the new branch, and if you have completed that work, and once you are free, you can do git stash pop, so that the branch which is stashed, you can again work on those particular branch, okay. So that you have to use git stash pop, okay. So how do you remove a branch, remote branch in git, okay. So in case if you have to remove a remote branch, then you have to do git push, okay, and then remote branch name, okay. Git push remote branch name, and then hyphen hyphen delete, and then again you have to give that branch name, okay. So when you do this one, like you will be able to delete the remote branch, okay. So sample example will be like git push origin delete feature branch. You are like you have the feature branch in your remote, then you can just give it like this, okay. Just you have to give the remote name, remote branch name, and then you have to delete the branch name which you have to give. So what is the difference between git reset and git revert? So git reset moves the branch pointer and changes history. So when you do git reset, it will be like in the local machine, okay. It will not affect globally. Whereas in case if you are using git revert, it will be creating a new commit to undo the changes, okay. Even if you have some remote branches, even those remote branches will be affected using this git revert, okay. It will delete from the remote branch as well, okay. So to work locally you can use git reset, to work on the remote branches you can use git revert, okay. But it will create a new commit, okay. It will create a new commit for the deletion as well, okay. And what is shallow cloning, okay. we know cloning. When you do git clone, it will clone the entire commit history, okay, but you don't want the entire commit history, just you want like few commit histories, or else just one commit history. Then you can just do shallow cloning, okay. Git clone hyphen hyphen depth equal to 1. When you give hyphen hyphen depth equal to 1, you will have only one commit history, okay. When you give it as 10, you will have 10 commit histories, and then you can give the repo name, okay. This command you know, right? Git clone, and then you have to give the URL. But in case if you don't want the commit history to be there, you can give hyphen hyphen depth equal to whatever, like how many commit histories you want, you can just give those things, okay. And how do you fix a commit with a wrong message after push? Okay, we have seen the same thing. We have to use hyphen hyphen amend. Okay, when you give hyphen hyphen amend, you can rewrite the commit message. Okay, and what are git hooks? And give an example. Okay, git hooks are nothing but it is like custom script. Okay, so that for example, you have to run something before committing. Okay, so we have like some hooks called pre-commit. Okay, what it does, it runs before the commit is made. Okay, and then we have something called commit message. So it validates whether the commit message format is correct or not. In case if you can define like some things to be validated, like you don't want any numbers or you don't want any special characters, then you can define those things in this commit message. And post merge, okay, in case after you merge that one, you can run this operation. Okay, so all these things can be handled using git hooks. Okay, so what is git hooks? Git hooks is a custom script which can be run at the particular stage, and it will automate certain tasks. Okay, it will automate certain tasks before the commit or after the commit or during the commit. Okay, so how do you squash commits using Git? In case if you have multiple commits, you can squash it using git rebase hyphen I head. Okay, head you can give number like 4, 5, whatever commits you want. You can give that one, and you can give squash or else yes. It will open an editor. You can give squash or yes, so that it will delete that particular line, and you can just keep the commits which is required. Okay, Jenkins. Okay, in Jenkins, what is the difference between declarative and scripted pipeline? Okay, declarative is simpler and structured, and it starts with pipeline, while scripted is flexible, like you can adjust it based on your requirements. So it will start with node. Okay, and how do you set up Jenkins for distributed builds? Okay, for example, in case if you want multiple jobs to be run, then we have to configure Jenkins agents, like multiple Jenkins agents. So how we can set it up using SSH or JNLP. Okay, so distributed load means distributed build means running multiple builds at the same time, or else running builds based on different runtime environments. Okay, so you can configure it using SSH or JNLP. So how to use input step in pipeline for manual approval? For example, you are running a Jenkins job, and then you need a manual approval to push it to production, or else you need some approval for some other thing. Then you have to use the step called input. Okay, just remember this, guys. You have to put it as input. So how you will get inside the script step? We can put it as input, and then you can define message. Okay, you can give whatever message. Here you have to deploy to production, it is asking question mark. You can give deploy to dev, deploy to something, or whatever it is, and then you can give okay, and then deploy. Okay, when you give okay equal to, and then it will automatically like it will stop at that place. Okay, once you go to that console logs, okay, when you go to that jobs console logs, there it will be asking yes or no. There you have to give yes, then only it will proceed. Otherwise that job it will hang. Okay, just remember this, guys. In case if they have passed input message, it will be displaying in the console output. You have to go and manually select that one, otherwise job it will not complete. Okay, in case if your job is running for long time and if you are waiting, you can go to the console logs and you can check. If it is asking for yes, you just click yes, and then it will approve. And how do you secure Jenkins? So instead of giving access to everyone, you can control the access. You can give access like a role based access. For example, if you are in a team of DevOps, your team will be requiring certain access, right? You should give access to those things only. In case of dev team, you must give just read access to production, and read rate access to dev Jenkins. And similarly, you can manage the credentials as well, so that you can secure the Jenkins. Okay, and explain blue ocean in Jenkins. Okay, blue ocean is nothing but it is like visualizing the pipeline UI. Okay, you can visualize it in UI. So blue ocean is nothing but it is So you will have the builds like this. Okay, you will be able to see it like this using the blue version. Okay, so it is modern UI. That's it. um, what are Jenkins parameters? Give example. Okay, so parameters are nothing but you will get an option like for example you have one pipeline, but you can deploy to dev, you can deploy to staging, you can deploy to production. So how you can define those things? You can define those things using parameters. Okay, so for example here they have given string and then branch. Okay, they have given branch. So here default is main. Okay, you can give few more options like a feature branch, hotfix branch, whatever it is. So in case if you want to just deploy to feature branch, you can select feature branch. If you want to deploy to any of the development branch, you can select development branch. Or else by default it will be main branch. Okay. Similarly, you can pass in parameters for different things. For dev, staging, prod environment, you can create three values like this. So these are called parameterized jobs. Okay. So you have to install the plugin called a parameterized thing, and then you will get an option to create a parameterized job. Okay, we can see this as well in any of the classes in future. Okay, so how do you store and retrieve credentials in Jenkins? So using with credentials. Okay, so with credentials you can pass in the variables, and these things will be got from Jenkins credentials section. Okay, so there you can define the credentials for any of the tools like Docker, SonarQube, Kubernetes, everything you can define there, and you can access it as a variables with the parameter called with credentials. Okay, with credentials. So explain a post build action. Post build action. Just now we have seen, right? So we have many things like post build, pre build. Okay, post build. So in case after the build is completed, in case if we have to be notified over a mail or Slack message, we can configure this post build action. Okay. So once the build is successful, it will be sending us an email stating that build is successful and particular artifact is saved here or whatever it is. So we can configure the post build actions as well. Okay. So what is the use of archive artifact? So it will save the files for later access. Archive artifact means so we will be getting multiple builds after when we run Jenkins job. We will be getting builds, but archiving it is necessary. Otherwise, Jenkins server it will be full because uh, per day we may be running like 500,000 builds. Okay, so in case if you have 1,000 packages, even if one package is 100 MB, then how much it will be consumed? So we can just keep like last one build or two builds, and then we can archive the remaining artifacts, or else we can save it in any of the storage locations so that we will be able to use it in the future. Okay, based on for each release you can keep a particular folder and you can save the builds there. Okay, and what is Jenkins shared library? Okay, shared library is nothing but you can create few configuration files, and you can keep it in the shared library so that you or any other team in your organization can use that particular file and just define the variables, and you will be able to work on those things instead of repeatedly each team writing the same logic. You can write a logic and for certain use case, and then the same thing can be used by multiple teams. Okay, so this can be done using shared library. Okay, so these are the most common questions from Git and Jenkins. Okay.